Governor Solo declares zero tolerance in sexual and gender-based violence. It's Awareness Month kicks off in Lagos State. Federal government health reform attracts over $4.8 billion. On foreign scene, union calls for general strike as protesters demand Gaza hostage deal from Israeli government. And in sports, Napoli new boss Antonio Conte breaks silence in Nigeria international Victor Osimhen's chances of playing after failed transfers. Now the details. I'm Sarah Adesanya. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reiterated his administration's commitment to zero tolerance in sexual and gender-based violence in Lagos State, warning that perpetrators will face the wrath of the law. Governor Sanwo-Olu stated this during his awareness and sensitization campaign to kickstart the September month of campaign against sexual and domestic violence in the state. The governor, who noted that the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency has sensitized over 1 million Lagosians, said that with over 60,000 complaints and 50 convictions, there is still a long way to go as many victims are still ashamed to speak out.
Lagos has indeed walked the talk on issues of sexual and gender-based violence, with our pioneering initiatives yielding fruits by the day. Therefore, you can trust that my administration is fully committed to this cause. I urge every Lagosian to join us this September and beyond as we unite to say no to domestic and sexual violence in our communities. Together, we can make Lagos free from all forms of sexual and gender-based violence.
Governor Sanwo-Olu urged residents to champion the fight against domestic and sexual violence in Lagos and report any case in the community through the toll-free line 112 or 767. The slogan for this year's campaign is SGBV, not on my watch, not in Lagos. Lagos State Task Force has commenced a comprehensive operation aimed at ridding the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway of miscreants and suspected criminals who have been terrorizing motorists and residents in the area. The operation, which took place across key locations including Chisco Roundabout, Elegushi, Ikate Roundabout, and Mawa Bus Stop, was executed following a series of complaints lodged by concerned motorists and residents through the agency's feedback channels. Chairman of the Lagos State Task Force, Adetayo Akerele, assured residents that this exercise is part of its mandate as enshrined in the Themes Plus agenda of the governor to restore law and order along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway and across the metropolis. Akerele enjoined motorists and residents to remain vigilant and report suspicious activities to the agency or the nearest police station. The Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs, LASODA, has hosted over 150 children with special needs, caregivers, and owners of homes in an atmosphere of fun to celebrate the uniqueness of the children and encourage their continued growth and inclusion. Speaking at the event, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tertiary Education, Adeniran Kasali, expressed gratitude to caregivers and parents for not isolating their children with special needs out of fear of or discrimination. He emphasized that keeping these children at home limits their access to valuable privileges and socialization opportunities, which are crucial for their mental and intellectual development. On her part, General Manager of LASODA, Adenike Oyetunde Lawal, emphasized the importance of supporting children with special needs, ensuring they are included and empowered in the community. She highlighted the state government's effort in promoting the rights and well-being of people living with disabilities, noting that the program is a step towards fostering a more inclusive society. The Nigerian Army 6th Division says its troops, in conjunction with other security agencies, have destroyed about 115 illegal refining sites, 66 boats, and arrested 22 suspects in Rivers and Bayelsa states. The troops also recovered a total of 27 stolen pipes and 4 pumping machines, while 5 illegal connections used in siphoning crude oil by the suspects were clamped, with over 170,000 stolen products confiscated in addition to other ancillary items deactivated. Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations, Jonah Danjuma, while giving a breakdown of the arrest achieved within 1 week, said the feat was aimed at tightening the noose against illegal artisanal refinery activities and associated crimes in the Niger Delta region. And now to the rest of the stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima has announced that the federal government's health sector reforms have attracted over $4.8 billion in potential investment. According to Shettima, the investments are part of the commitment of the administration of President Bola Tinubu to revitalizing Nigeria's healthcare system. Shettima noted that the health sector reforms under the Tinubu administration are anchored on a robust roadmap designed to tackle persistent issues that have plagued the system for decades. On his part, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Tunji Alausa, noted that the challenges of healthcare services are multifaceted, requiring more innovative effort for both the government and private sector. Over 10,000 persons have been displaced, while farmlands and other properties worth millions of naira were destroyed by flood after weeks of intense rain in Gumi local government area of Zamfara state. The Emir of Gumi, Hassan Lawal, revealed this when Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal paid an on-the-spot assessment visit to the local government. Briefing the governor, Lawal gave the breakdown of the situation in the local government, pledging to address long-term flood management by constructing new drainage systems, repairing existing dams, and potentially building additional dams. On his part, the governor sympathized with the flood victims and announced an immediate relief package of 100 million naira and the distribution of 10,000 bags of assorted grains, along with mosquito nets and blankets. And in foreign news, the families of Israeli hostages are holding demonstration in Jerusalem, urging the government to reach a deal with Hamas to release those still held in Gaza. Istedrot, one of the country's most powerful unions, announced a general strike in support of the movement after Israeli forces recovered bodies of 6 hostages held by Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, pressure is mounting on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to negotiate a deal with Hamas for the immediate release of hostages held in Gaza. Earlier, Benjamin Netanyahu said the government will not rest until those responsible for the killing of the 6 hostages whose bodies were recovered from inside Gaza are caught. And in sports, Napoli's new boss, Antonio Conte, has spoken about the chances of Victor Osimhen playing again for the club after his failed transfer. Osimhen and Napoli were working towards reconciliation after the Nigerian international failed to secure a move away from the club on the recent transfer deadline day. Osimhen's transfer saga took several turns, including a rejected offer from Saudi Arabia club Al Ahly and rejected contract offer from Chelsea. Conte says there is no way back to Napoli for Victor Osimhen. Conte's firm stance against Osimhen may find himself sidelined for the remainder of the season. Just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch your news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that under the Solo administration, Lama launched the Lagos State Blue Box Recycling Initiative? You can get more details on the Lagos State government website. So in the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reiterated his administration's commitment to zero tolerance on sexual and gender-based violence in Lagos State, warning that perpetrators will face the full wrath of the law. Vice President Kashim Shettima has announced that the federal government health sector reforms have attracted over $4.8 billion in potential investment. We also told you that the families of Israeli hostages are holding demonstration in Jerusalem, urging the government to reach a deal with Hamas to release those still held in Gaza. Istrodot, one of the country's most powerful unions, announced a general strike in support of the movement. And in sports, Napoli's new boss, Antonio Conte, has spoken about the chances of Victor Osimhen playing again for the club after his failed transfer. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by